Okay, so I am on exercise 3-3 in my AutoCAD Architecture textbook, where we take a 2D AutoCAD drawing and we convert it to a 3D. A lot of times you'll have stuff that you've created in 2D and you want to change it to 3D. So I'm going to start a new file right here. Okay, I'm going to turn off my grid. My mouse is being... off. And I'm going to turn my snap off. Okay. And I'm going to go to my units. And I'm going to set them to inches, architectural with a position of 1/4 inch. And say OK. And I don't need to rescale anything. And then I'm going to go to the insert ribbon. I'm going to say attach. And I'm going to locate a drawing file, which is the AutoCAD floor plan. And I'm going to make sure that scales turned off, insertion point set to 0, 0, 0, rotation is off. I'm going to say OK. That brought in this 2D AutoCAD drawing. And if you go to a 3D view, you can see that it's just 2D. Okay. And I want to select it and right click and say bind as an insert. And then I want to explode that drawing. And I want to check how thick the walls are. The walls are 1 foot 11 inches thick. So I need to create a wall style that's 1 foot 11 inches thick. So I'm going to come over to Design Tools, and I'm going to select my walls, and I want to locate the stud for rigid 1.5, air 1, brick 1 fall. Okay, so here I've got this wall style. All right, I'm going to right click on that, and I want to modify that wall style. So I'm going to click on the wall styles right here. Okay. And hold on, I need to import this in. So I'm going to right click and say import. And then I'm going to right click and go to wall styles. So now I see it here. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to go to components. And notice it says right now that it's a total width of 11 1/4 inch, and we want it to actually be 1 foot 11 inch. All right, so I want the brick veneer to be 4 inch 2.5. I want to add a Cmu component, so I'm going to click right here. I'm going to change this to Cmu. Okay. And I'm going to say that this is 1 foot 3.875 inches. And my edge offset is 2.5 inches. Okay, and then I have an air gap of 1 inch.
And then I have rigid insulation that's 1.5 inch, and notice that my total width is now 1 foot 11 inches. Okay. Now I can change my stud set to 4 inches, and I want to set my GWB width, instead of 3/4, I'm going to say 5/8 inches. Sorry, 5/8 inches, and this is going to be minus 4 5/8 inches. Notice that it adjusted so that it's too big. So we didn't go to the 5/8 for whatever reason. So that's creating an issue. Okay. Because now it's too big. It's 1 foot 11 1/4. So, oh, and it rounded this up. 3.875 inches. So it's rounding things up, probably because the way the units are set up. So let me change my units and set my precision to 1/8. And now let's take a look at the wall styles again. Yeah. And I want this to be 5/8 inch. Oops. Minus 4 5/8 inch. And see, now it says 1 foot 11 inches. So now it's correct. And I'm going to say apply. And OK. All right. And now I'm going to right click on that wall style and say apply tool properties to line work. Okay. And I'm going to select the lines. And I'm just going to kind of go around and select different lines. I'm selecting just the exterior walls. And notice that I only select a portion of the wall. I don't select the whole wall. And I'm not selecting any of the interior walls. And I have one more right there, and then I'm going to hit enter. Okay. Then it asks me if I want to erase the line work, and I'm going to right click and say no. And then you're going to see the walls, and some of the walls landed incorrectly. So what I can do is I can flip them. Okay. I can also move them so that they're correct. Okay. 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 And I want to look to see where the baseline is. So right now it's justified baseline. I'm going to set I want that to be justified left. And notice that that shifts that key, the location line, so I can place it correctly. So instead of in the center, I want to adjust it. And then I'm using the nearest to place it. And I'm going to do the rest for this. This one looks like it also added baseline. So I almost need to like set all the walls and say I want them to be left. So what I can do is I can come over here and I can say, okay, I just want to select the walls. And I want to make sure that all the walls, the baseline is set to left. Then I can do it all in one shot. Okay, and then I'm going to just that one there. That one landed correctly. That one landed correctly. And notice that that arrow indicates the exterior side of the wall. So I always want the exterior side of the wall to be on the exterior side. You can see once I adjusted to baseline, these guys landed correctly. Okay. And I just have a couple more to fix. And then we can start cleaning things up a little bit more. Okay. All right. So then, how do I get these so that they set up correctly? So if you go to a 3D view, you can kind of see what the 3D walls look like. All right. We can use the Filat Tool. If I set my radius to 0, notice I can select this wall, and then this wall. And I'm going to repeat my fillet. I'm going to select this wall, and that wall. Repeat my fillet. I'm going to select this wall, then that wall. Repeat the fillet. Select this wall, then that wall. Repeat my fillet. Select this wall, then that wall. Okay. I'm going to select this wall, then this wall. Okay. This wall, that wall, this wall, that wall. So I'm just kind of going around the model and joining up all the walls. One at a time. Unfortunately, you can only do fillet 2 walls at a shot. Okay. And if you look at these 2 walls, yeah, so I'm going to select this wall and that wall. Yeah, that cleaned up. Okay, and Just gonna double check that those two cleaned up. And you can kind of see that there might be some issues there, and you can use the wall cleanup to clean those corners there. And some of it might be because if the exterior is set to the wrong side, do you see that? So you kind of double check to make sure that your exterior is actually flipped correctly. See, so because if the exterior side's on the wrong side, and as long as you've got the exterior side on the correct side, then the corners look correct. And I'll see if I can clean these guys up. Yep. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So I'm gonna put it into 3D view and see how nice that looks. Okay. So I've got that done, that section done. And at this point, I can then apply the stud 4 GWB to the interior, and I need to adjust that. So I need to find this one, and I'm going to import that in. And then I'm going to go to Wall Styles to see. And this has a total width of 6.5 inches, and I need to change the stud width from 4 inches to 1 foot 9 3/4 inches. Okay, and then I've got a total width of 1 foot 11 inches for my interior wall. I'm gonna come back here. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna say apply tool properties to line work, and again I'm gonna come across and I'm gonna start selecting the interior lines. And I think I got them all. And I'm going to hit enter, and it's going to ask me if I want to erase line work. I'm going to say no. Okay, so once again, I want all of those to have a justification of left, and then I can then come around and clean them up. So I'm going to flip that over and move that over to there. And I'm going to flip that over. Move that over to there. Okay. That one looks like it. Those two look like they landed correctly. Oops. Moving that down. I'm trying to move it down. There we go. And see. Yeah. Those all need to get moved. And the nearest snap works really well for this, because I'm just trying to get it on that line. Okay. All right. And if I go to a 3D view, you can kind of see the interior. And I can use the Extend tool. And I can set everything to a boundary edge and say that I then want to extend that wall. There it went. I want to extend that wall. Come on. There it went. And sometimes it's easier to do it in the plan view, in the top view, just because then you can see it better. Okay. And I want to do a fillet between this wall and that wall. Okay. And I want to do a fillet between this wall, that wall. Okay. And this wall I want to extend. And this wall I want to extend. So I'm kind of going through, seeing what I want to extend, what I don't. And I want to trim this wall. Because it's going too far. And you can also use your grips to kind of get things where you want them. And I want to fill it between this wall and that wall. Let me see what it looks like in 3D. Okay. And I have to rotate around a little bit. Okay, so I want that to be my boundary. I want that guy to extend to it. I want that guy to extend to it. Okay. And then I want this one to be my boundary. And I want that to extend to it. And that to extend to it. And I want that to be my boundary. I want that wall to extend to it. And I want this wall to be my boundary. And I want that wall to extend to it. And I want this wall to be the boundary, and I want that wall to extend to it. wall as my boundary. I want that wall to extend to it. I think I've got them all in. I'm going to type in shade to shade it. And you can see your model. I was trying to rotate it around a little bit. See how we went from 2D to 3D. How cool is that? Just using basic AutoCAD commands, really, except for changing our wall thickness and getting our applying the wall styles to the line work. Everything else was an AutoCAD command, so it's kind of cool. And you can see everything connects really nicely.